Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson and I'll be your guide on today's journey. As we step into April and observe Autism Awareness Month, recognized around the world as a time to promote understanding, inclusion and support, we're glad you could join us on this first Saturday of the month. We have an informative and engaging program lined up just for you. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Megu. I'm the mother of an autistic child, Adriana Francis. It is Autism Awareness Month, and what I'd like from Jamaica as a parent of an autistic child is maybe a little bit more tolerance, a little bit more understanding. When we take them on the road, if they're in an unfamiliar situation, there are times when they'll throw what would look to you as like a tantrum, but it's actually a meltdown. Because for them, they are highly sensitive, and many times sounds that we can block out, feelings that we can analyze or we can assimilate, it's hard for them. They feel like all sounds are being thrown at them, all feelings are being thrown at them. They're overwhelmed with stimuli, with sensations, and for them, a part of the response to this overstimulation is for them to hit their heads, for them to scream, for them to behave in a way that as a society we may find unacceptable. But as a mother of an autistic child, I completely understand, and we're just asking for a little bit more tolerance from you.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Jamaica Magazine. Strengthening the financial sector remains an important step toward long-term economic resilience. Up next, we explore planned reforms taking shape this fiscal year to close funding gaps and drive rebuilding efforts.
As Jamaica continues its post-Hurricane Melissa recovery, the government is turning its attention to strengthening the financial sector.
The financial sector can significantly help to power up the recovery. Yes. The sector will need some targeted reform to be more agile.
Among the first areas of focus, pension fund investment rules. The proposed changes are aimed at unlocking more long-term capital for private sector development.
We anticipate that together with the Financial Services Commission, we will take a small but consequential step to increase the pension fund private asset limit from 5% of total assets to 7.5% of total assets, subject to supervisory monitoring. And in the absence of any unforeseen adverse consequences, we will complete the second phase of this increase to 10% by April of 2027. Under the first phase of this change, an additional $21.2 billion of long-term capital will be allowed to be invested in private companies.
The reforms extend to the exploration of adjustments that would give institutional investors greater flexibility in how they manage foreign investments.
By early in the new fiscal year, working with the FSC and the BOJ, we should be in a position to increase the foreign asset limit for pension funds and insurance company from 10% to 15% of total assets. The additional 5% will be restricted to foreign currency denominated securities issued by locally domiciled issuers.
At the same time, policymakers are reviewing existing regulations to make it easier for insurers to invest in corporate debt, all while still safeguarding the stability of the financial system.
Under the current interpretation of Regulation 47 of the Insurance Regulation, insurers may invest in corporate debt only where multiple prescriptive conditions are fulfilled simultaneously. We will simplify Regulation 47 so that insurers can invest in corporate debt where either of two objective criteria is met. The revised framework will permit investments where instruments are secured by adequate collateral and bear fixed interest, or where instruments are issued, secured, or guaranteed by a solvent company assessed to be investment grade by a recognized rating provider and that meets a 2 times fixed charge earnings test over the prior 2 years.
Other changes will examine how securities dealers operate, how investment funds are structured, and how financial institutions manage risk.
First, we will review the capital adequacy framework for securities dealers in an effort to remove any elements that discourage intermediation in government and high-quality corporate securities. Second, we will introduce a risk-sensitive concentration framework for securities dealers, pension funds, and insurers that place greater emphasis by issuer quality and asset class rather than relying on blunt uniform caps. Third, we will examine the repurchase agreements framework with a focus on allowable assets and eligible collateral. And finally, Madam Speaker, we will look to reform collective investment schemes rules, exploring the efficacy of unit holder limits and liquidity management.
Among the slew of reforms is the primary dealers system. Through this arrangement, primary dealers act as market makers, facilitating the trading of Government of Jamaica and Bank of Jamaica securities. The system helps keep the market active, strengthens investor confidence, and ultimately helps reduce the government's borrowing costs.
The reform of the current primary dealers system remains a key strategic objective of the government, as well as a well-functioning primary dealers framework is essential to the continued development of the domestic debt market.
The administration also plans to introduce new financial instruments, giving investors more options and improving the government's ability to raise funds competitively.
The introduction of new instruments is expected to improve liquidity and flexibility, allowing investors to match products to their cash flow needs and risk preferences, while offering the government more competitive funding options.
Technology will also play a role in modernizing Jamaica's financial landscape.
The fixed income trading platforms will establish a centralized and standardized framework for the listing, trading, and management of Government of Jamaica's securities. The implementation of the platform is expected to reduce transaction, settlement time, and counterparty risks, and increase participation by both domestic and international investors, thereby broadening the investor base, strengthening price discovery, supporting the development of an efficient yield curve, and enhancing liquidity in the secondary market.
For consumers, new digital tools are on the horizon to facilitate greater transparency within the financial sector.
A new comparison website is scheduled for launch this year. The platform will allow consumers to easily compare banking fees, charges, and interest rates across financial institutions. The development of this site has been approved, with focus group testing and marketing campaigns planned ahead of its rollout.
A centralized digital verification system is also being developed to simplify customer onboarding and improve access to financial services.
It will expand financial inclusion and reduce paperwork. The system will function as a secure, centralized digital gateway for identity verification and customer due diligence, enabling banks to onboard customers more efficiently through a single access point.
Even as reforms take shape, the government continues to strengthen Jamaica's financial resilience, particularly in the face of natural disasters.
The government intends to renew the CRIF insurance policy. The government will also maintain savings in the NNDRF, the NDF, and contingency funds, as well as seek to renew contingency credit lines to bolster our risk retention capabilities. The government will also continue to explore other instruments to build structural resilience, thereby mitigating potential damage from natural disasters.
Jamaica's strong credit ratings continue to signal stability and confidence in the country's economic management and fiscal prudence.
Our current ratings stand at Moody's BA3 with a stable outlook, S&P or Standard & Poor's at BB, also with a stable outlook, and Fitch at BB-, equally with a stable outlook. These credit ratings are our oil. They are our gold. All of these reforms that I've outlined for the financial sector have one aim, Madam Speaker, to make the financial sector work better for the Jamaican people and the businesses, full stop.
With these reforms, the government is seeking to strengthen the financial sector's ability to support investment, expand access to capital, and drive economic growth for years to come.
Are you an entrepreneur producing an excellent Jamaican product or service? Did you know you can earn hard currency and more significant returns by exporting? Contact the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce to help propel your business along the export lane.
Everything you can produce, the Jamaicans overseas want it. We're not going to get rich by just bringing down the debt. We're going to get rich by exporting a lot more. So grow exports, create job opportunities, drive economic growth through exports to make Jamaica a richer and much more prosperous country.
The 2026-2027 financial year has started. We've looked at the government's plans, but what about yours? It's a good time to reflect on our own financial habits. Are there steps you could take to improve your financial outlook? A lot of questions can be asked. So let's take a look at some practical ways to plan your finances wisely and build a more secure future.
Financial planning isn't just about making smart choices. It's about being disciplined, committed, and consistently working towards your long-term goals. By setting clear objectives and crafting a thoughtful plan, you can achieve financial stability faster than you might think. But before rushing into decisions, the first step is finding the right advisor who can provide expert guidance on making informed choices. So, what should you do during this financial planning process?
You need to build an emergency fund. You need to also have retirement planning, and you need to also have critical illness planning in the event of any emergency. So let's take some time to go through a few items. For your emergency fund, you want to make sure you have at least 2 to 3 months of your monthly expense saved. One of the best ways to do that is to automate your savings. So if it is that you make X per month, you set aside a percentage of your income for savings, at least 10 to 15%. And then you set up a standing order with your bank or salary deduction with your workplace. So that is automated. Now, once you have achieved your goal of your emergency fund, and remember this is emergency, not for trips, not for partying, in the event of an emergency. The next thing you want to address are your high interest rate debts. Start first by looking at your credit cards. If your minimum payment is $10,000 and within your budget you can pay 15 or 20, aggressively pay it down so that you'll get rid of it in a short period of time. Then look at your hire purchase agreements with your financial places or your places that you buy furniture and stuff from. Let's say you take out a washing machine. When you calculate your interest that you're paying back over time, you're paying for that unit maybe 2 or 3 times. So really what you want to do is aggressively pay off your principal. Once you've comfortably secured all of that, then the next thing you want to do is income protection. What most persons don't think about is, what happens if I'm not able to earn? You make X per month, but then you get a critical illness, a heart attack, stroke, in worst case scenario, cancer. At best, your workplace will give you your pay for at least a month or 2. Then they'll give you compassionate leave. After that, all the bills are on you. And that's what really drives most of us home. So you really want to safeguard that with a critical illness plan. What that does is, in the event of any form of illness or any emergency, a lump sum is paid out directly to you. Once you've covered your income protection, now you need to set aside goals that you're saving towards. Whether it's to purchase a home, whether it's educational fund if you have a child, or whether it's retirement, which is long-term savings. Now your approach to savings is multifaceted. You take a different approach. One is, you can do equities and stocks, which is long-term. I'll encourage that for pension and retirement. You can also contribute to a pension scheme. And if your workplace offers the option for you to contribute maximum contribution, then do that, because pension payments are also tax-free. The next option you have is your bonds, government bonds. You have the opportunity of doing equities or stocks, or in our current climate with the JSE getting more active, we have IPOs that are coming out. So you can listen to different financial reports, and if a company is going to be listed, then it's a good opportunity for you to invest. But do your research first on the company. Make sure you read their prospectus and invest in that. The good thing about these IPOs is that it gives you an opportunity to aggressively increase or multiply your funds. Nothing beats starting a business because you can earn in that current time value of money when you retire. Whereas pensions are good, the thing about pension is that you're paid one set income until your day has come. However, with a business, you have the opportunity to increase your revenue, increase your sales and your offerings in line with inflation or whatever the current value of money is at that time. So the best thing is to start saving for now. Go through, sit down, think about what are the hobbies, things that you like doing and what you can monetize. First, write out all your debts. Write out what your monthly payback is and write out the interest rate. And then start with the snowball effect. Start paying off the smallest one first. Once you clear that, you reallocate those funds to paying off the next one. And once you clear that, you reallocate those funds to paying off the other one until you clear them off. But be aggressive about it and give yourself a specific timeline. It may be tight for a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're clearing up all of these funds that you'll be paying into debt to use as investment.
To recap, financial success demands discipline and consistency. Start by budgeting for living expenses, emergency funds, and savings. And if entrepreneurship is your goal, use your salary to grow your business until it replaces your income. With these tools, be responsible and enjoy the journey to financial success.
Hi, I'm Landy. Welcome to NLA Connect, the National Land Agency's customer engagement platform. NLA Connect is a simple, user-friendly platform designed to help you share your feedback, get support, and updates about land-related matters. Available 24/7, NLA Connect allows you to share suggestions, comments, and commendations, submit queries and report issues, attach files with your requests, track requests and get real-time status updates, connect with NLA client engagement officers, and provide feedback on the service received by the platform. We're making it easier for you to connect with us. You can access NLA Connect via our website, using the kiosk at any of our offices or scanning the QR code displayed at our locations. Need any help along the way? Check out our FAQs section. It has all the answers you need in one location. NLA Connect, your voice, our priority.
Second chances can transform lives and strengthen communities. Let's take a look at how the Department of Correctional Services, DCS, is working to rehabilitate inmates and support their successful reintegration into society.
The Department of Correctional Services, DCS, was formed in 1975 and plays a pivotal role in monitoring persons on parole and those serving custodial and non-custodial sentences. Their mission is to see to the security, rehabilitation, and reintegration of offenders as productive and law-abiding citizens.
The institution tries to mirror society in general as best as possible so that on the release of an inmate, the reintegration will be as seamless as is possible. Our first interaction with inmates are when the courts send them to us. In general, the courts send 3 different categories of inmates: convicted, awaiting trial, and those that have been convicted and have appealed their sentences. In regards to the convicted persons, we hold inmates start ranging from 30 days to multiple life sentences. When they are admitted, first thing we categorize them in those 3 categories. Then we go to security, whether they are of a high security, which if they escape would pose a danger to the society and to the public in general. Then we have just regular inmates who cannot be held in low security but has to stay in one of the maximums. We also have inmates who can be classified and sent to the medium securities, which are the farm institutions, Tamarind Farm and Richmond Farm. They concentrate on farming, but they still do other rehab activities.
Meanwhile, female inmates are held at the South Camp Adult Correctional Facility, where they serve the same range of sentences in the 3 categories. Females who will soon give birth are also held at that facility and have a nursery available to them.
After 6 months, a report is done and a family member or a friend who could be a guardian of that child, and if the report come back as those people being suitable guardians, the child is handed over to them. If there is no suitable guardian, the child will be placed in a children's home, and at the release of the mother, they can be reunited. If the mother is to be released in a short period, say up to when the child is 1 year old, the child will be allowed to stay with the mother.
Rehabilitation in our care is under the arms of many branches, which would comprise the probation arm, the chaplaincy, the rehab industry, and the rehab branch. Within the rehabilitation branch, we have teachers at all levels. It's mandatory for the children to go to school and to be in vocational areas, as well as to be exposed to sports and chaplaincy. We also engage them in sessions with our case managers.
In addition, there are trained custodial officers who help with not only security, but also operate as social workers.
This is the initial part in terms of doing rehabilitation, where we have to assess where our inmates are, not just on the custodial side to see how severe of a crime or if they are high risk, but we also look at where they are in their biopsychosocial, so we can know whether or not they are high, low, or medium risk.
The Department of Correctional Services also provides a myriad of academic opportunities for inmates at the CSEC and CAPE levels.
So we offer more than 13 areas when it comes on to CSEC, and when it comes on to the CAPE exam, we offer 2. Some of the offerings that we have at the CSEC level, we have principles of accounts, we have principles of business, maths, English, social studies, history, to name a few. At the CAPE, we only offer now mathematics and economics.
The department also offers vocational courses that extend beyond the theoretical aspects.
We have vocational areas such as barbering, and this is at both the adult and the juvenile level. We also have welding. We have projects where we do masonry, plumbing, painting, and of course, most of our maintenance are done not just by officers within the institution, but inmates as well.
An infirmary is also available to inmates who have difficulty taking care of themselves. Professionals who work in the regular infirmary assist them in their day-to-day activities.
We also have family days where inmates are allowed to interact with their children twice annually, where fathers and mothers, in the case of South Camp, are allowed to sit with their children, interact closely for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, because these events are a big deal for the children to see their parents. We also have a system where inmates are granted parole. There are a number of reports that goes into the parole. We have the report from the institution, which is done by the superintendent. There is the police report, and there is the community report. All of those are viewed by the parole board, and then a decision is made whether or not that person will be granted parole.
Oftentimes, person would hear the sad story, but it's time for us to look at the success, look at the positive, to see that our inmates and our wards in our care, they are doing exceptionally well. They want to make a change, and we're asking that society will also buy into that to allow them to have a smooth reintegration. Oftentimes, there is a stigma attached, but we ask that persons will give them that sense of hope to say anybody can change. The fact that they are making strides within, we hope that society can forgive and to have an open arm so they can execute that which we have taught them, that which they have engaged themselves in. We hope that society can help as well, that we can meet that vision for 2030.
All motorists, pedestrians, private and public operators, motorcyclists, it is important for us to drive defensively. Driving defensively saves lives, and we know that lives are most important to each and every one of us. It is important also to be trained and certified as a defensive driver, for it increases the likelihood that you'll prevent collisions on our roadways.
That brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. You can stay connected with us online at jis.gov.jm and on our social media platforms. On behalf of the entire team here at JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.